Hi again. I hope you're all well this week. Now, before we proceed to the ECC and other perspectives on the marks of the Church and the Sacraments, let's review briefly. We have now passed the halfway point in this, your intro course. As we've gone through the course so far, you've defined faith as intellectual affirmation and emotional trust or conviction, and you've also claimed that theology is a pilgrimage of discovery wherein believers can use scripture and tradition to act in just and compassionate ways. With my aid, you've established the identity of God the Father as the world's creator and ruler who is fully expressed in Jesus Christ, and contended that God reveals God's self to humanity and within creation through vulnerability. Significantly, you've also reviewed the ECC's paradigms of creation, theological anthropology, the way human beings reveal God's image, and sin. Notably, in terms of Christology, you have also foregrounded Jesus' humanity and his healing power. Most recently, you compared and contrasted the ECC's ecclesiology with Jenny Weissbloch's practical ecclesiology of disability, exploring the ways that people with disabilities can support and challenge traditions like the covenant. As we look forward to the consummation of this course in the papers that I want you folks to write me on eschatology, the study of the last days, we will use this video to extend some of our claims from the prior module about ecclesiology. So Frisk rightly points out that the Church's mission and ministry are formed in eschatology, and the sacraments of baptism and Holy Communion ground that emphasis on God's righteous reign within the believing community. That is, in the water and the word of baptism, the bread and wine of the Lord's Supper, and the communities that both of those rituals help to foster, God's gracious reign comes near to humankind and creation, and we are offered vivid insights into the ways that God will redress the disorientation of sin and death. In light of all this, our thesis for this module is simple, as you can see. The sacraments of baptism and Holy Communion make manifest the Church's four marks. Now, in order to make that thesis clear, you're going to perform 3 tasks within this module. First, you will interpret Don Frisk's concepts of the Church and the sacraments in his 9th chapter of Covenant Affirmations. Second, you'll delve deeper into the covenant's perspective by analyzing John C. Weborg's paradigm of the sacraments of baptism and communion. Third and finally, you will briefly reevaluate Nancy Eiesland's ideas of Holy Communion from her disabled God, which should lead us to your 2 short assignments for this module. First off, I would like you to write me a 300-word précis of Frisk's concepts of baptism and Holy Communion based on his chapter. As you do this, please keep Weborg's ideas in mind as well. Second, I'd like you to create for me a 300-word discussion post alongside a 100-word response to a classmate's post on the necessity of opening communion to believers of all abilities. I'll explain all that at greater length at the end. In light of all this, dear friends, let's go. Allons-y.